In the time it takes me to heat up this meal, let me tell you all about today's sponsor, Factor. Factor is a meal delivery service here to save you time and money and confusion at the grocery store. So while my shredded chicken taco bowl is heating up, let me tell you about the sweet deals. If you go to factor75.com and use the code BENTO50 at checkout, you can get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month's order. Not only that, but Factor offers delicious, quenchy juicies to help nutritionalize you and make sure you're hydrated. Factor offers many options for you, fitting any dietary restriction: pescatarian, low carb, high protein, whatever you're going for, Factor has a solution that'll save you time and money. They also cut down a lot on food waste, so you're not having to throw away a bunch of stuff that you might buy at the grocery store. And if you have a busy schedule, like I said, these meals are gonna be ready in about 2 minutes. All you gotta do is poke some holes in the top, pop them in the microwave oven, and get on with your day. I literally think I covered all of the talking points in way less time than necessary.
Yeah, you still got 40 seconds. What'd you do today, Nick?
Oh man, with 40 seconds to spare, what'd I do today? Let's see, I worked out, worked on some scripts earlier. Now I'm shooting some ads, including this.
Now you're shotgunning one of these factors in 20 seconds.
I'm gonna shotgun one of these in 20 seconds? Oh man.
Oh, two?
See if I can get another one.
Yes!
It's a race now.
Oh my god, you're gonna puke.
That's as many as I can get. And like that, it's done. And like that, I have a delicious, nutritious meal ready to eat thanks to Factor. Again, go to factor75.com, use the code BENTO50 at checkout. You get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month's order. And now, on to the video ahead.
I'm going to eat all of your balls.
Om nom nom. Goblin balls like Pac-Man. Waku and all that.
I miss college.
Step into the grand tour. Dragon Ball GT.
FS. We're in the home stretch.
Yep.
The final dragon has revealed itself, as we assumed. We assumed he would last time. And while it did take Goku significantly longer than 5 seconds to defeat Ice.
He did it before the ad break.
He did. Oh, Trixie bitch.
You icy.
As far as pacing goes, it's funny, thinking back on this, how many people were saying, and even you said at one point, that like Super 17 was like going to be worse. As far as pacing has gone since Baby, aside from that episode where we basically watched Dragon Ball Z for a whole episode, the pacing has been remarkably better.
Yeah, I do have to say, in terms of the pacing for these particular episodes, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Especially since we have some interesting villains right now.
Yeah, it's been mostly Monster of the Week with like the 1-2-parter with the mole, and now that we have some substantial threat, it makes sense to expand it out a little bit because they're also more interesting characters. Because we start back up, Goku is fighting Ice. It gives Goku like, okay, I'll give you the 5 count. I'm not sure if he's letting Goku get the shots in, but the fact that he's counting out the seconds as Goku is beating the shit out of him kind of tells me that he's not really putting up a defense.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, it's literally just styling on him, saying, hey, hit me as much as you want, it don't matter.
And lucky for him, Goku, before he's about to shoot the finishing blow, he lands next to Pan, and he used Pan as a human shield.
Yeah.
Which cuts Goku off, again showing that this guy fights dirty.
Nope. No, don't like it.
It's still less creepy than Daltaki. Nope, never mind.
There's this great shot actually where he throws Pan at Goku and he does this dodge where he does like a flip forward and gets hit in the back.
Yeah, to protect Pan from the oncoming like attack.
It's a brutal shot.
Yeah, shoots him, like hits him through a building, knocks him down to the ground, starts stomping him for a while. Then Goku decides he's done being stomped.
Right.
Grabs him by the leg.
And then tosses him like a doll. He's
like,
pissed, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, the look on his face is like, you almost made me shoot my granddaughter. I am going to wreck you.
Yeah, I had to do that once today. I don't want to do it again. Stand there and take it again,
Are
huh?
you for f***ing real?
Got him again! It's clear that Goku is winning. And this guy hits him with another ice ray, which momentarily upset us, because like, come on, again?
Yeah, for a split second, I thought they were gonna pull this again. But good on them, they don't.
And in a way that they can explain.
Yes.
Goku breaks out of it, which again, at first we were like, what?
How? Why this time?
And Goku explains this because I saw that technique before, my body recognized it, so it covered itself with a shield of ki. I was able to defend myself so that I could break out of it. Good.
Yeah.
He learned, he worked through it, and it makes sense the way that he was able to break out of it. At which point he puts him in this like sick ass pose.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like that like 2 fingers to the head, like, oh God, what's...
It's really funny. I think it was before Battle of Gods came out, and people were like leaking fake screenshots of what happened in the movie and what Super Saiyan God looked like. And it was like, they used that shot with a golden Super Saiyan 4.
Like gold monkey fur.
And replaced 3-star with Beerus.
It's a cool shot though, like
Yeah.
just like holding him at his mercy as they slowly lower to the ground, where he pulls off one final dick move as he's like, you know, begging for his life. Like, please, I'll give you the 3-star ball, don't kill me. And he's like, please, brother, tell him not to kill me. And Nova's like, you just want the ball, right? You don't have to kill my brother.
Which, okay, so a lot of questions arise here.
There are.
Like, so it's like, oh, you just want the ball, right? Yeah, but
Isn't that the key to his existence?
yeah, the ball has to be cleansed. It has to be like turned back to normal.
Yeah, the only way to purify it so far that we've seen has been to destroy the dragon.
Yeah, and if it gets purified, will he still exist? I mean, maybe you could say that, oh, well, he was built from that negative key, so maybe he is his own autonomous creature. But like, as far as we've seen, they cease to exist. Ball gets purified. So what's the series of events that should have taken place had he actually have just been like, okay, I give up?
Like maybe there's like, I don't know, like outside of it, you can maybe think of like, maybe there's a ritual or something to purify, cleanse it. There's magic in the universe.
I know.
I'll buy that, but it is one of those things that's like, okay, it does raise some questions.
Yeah.
Not like they don't stick in my craw super hard. It doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah,
Because
no.
obviously he's playing towards a gambit.
Oh yeah, no, because yeah, the next thing we know, he
Slices his like eyes out with this like jelly ice that he...
Yeah, he like sort of liquefies the ice and then uses that, which like on twofold. First of all, that shot is sick.
It is cool.
So like just the shot of like the building being cut in half in the background. I love that sort of shit. I love
yeah.
that sense of scale.
It's a little weird that we don't have like any mark of damage across his face, or
Right.
even when we do see his eyes, they don't look damaged at all.
Right?
But yeah, it's an underhanded move. Goku is blinded. From this point forward, I guess,
Yeah.
from what we gather, he remains blind, or at least severely limited in his ability to see.
この勝負もらったあいつはどうかな
Way to go, dip.
Jesus! Yeah, he pulls that underhanded tactic, and Goku's like, I'm so sick and tired of your bullshit.
I know he's done. He's like, oh my f***ing god, are you kidding? No, we're done. It's over. So 3-star tries to go in for a finishing blow, but Goku counters with a hole through his goddamn body.
Straight up fists his entire torso.
Yeah.
Like, bam! At first you see him like, okay, Goku gut checked him. That's what's going to happen. Then they show the shot from reverse angle. No, arm impaling him.
It reminds me of Trunks versus that one Goku from BoJack. Remember how like Trunks
yeah.
punches the guy through the stomach? Yeah. No, he does that here, and then
Impaled, drives him to the ground, and uses the dragon fist,
Yes.
which looks so goddamn cool.
Yeah.
Like the golden Shenron encircles the city, boom, straight down into him.
Look, I can excuse a technique that kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because, like, what? You made a dragon out of ki? Okay, whatever. I can excuse it because it looks cool. as-
Look, there's a reason the Dragon of the Darkness Flame is the coolest in Yu Yu Hakusho. Dragons are awesome. When you turn them into some sort of energy attack, Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Why?
So, dead.
Yep.
Ice is dead.
He got iced, is what we're saying.
This is the only move that is like purely Goku's.
Yep, and it's honestly, I love it. Like no notes.
Does it bother you that it was never used in Super?
No, because I don't think it's canon to Super.
I guess it's not canon in general because it was only used in
GT
what, the
in the movie.
Yeah. Goku immediately goes to try to start healing himself.
Starts trying to wash his eyes out, and then Vorstar just comes in with like this like bottle of
this vial of medicine, I guess.
which okay.
I don't care.
No, but no, it is a little weird.
It is strange that he does have eye curing medicine.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nitpick. I'm nitpicking here.
It's nitpicky.
But like, why?
Another one of those things that doesn't stick in my craw. It's to show he is super honorable and super noble. He has something that can heal him. Okay, it's immediately destroyed.
It gets destroyed, and he takes a blast from
Shenron, or One Star,
Yep.
as they call him also. Again, I'm just going to be using their dub names because that's how I know them. Blasted. I also think it hits Goku's knee because he's holding his knee after that. It's weird.
I don't think so.
He's like holding his leg like he's just like cramped up. It's like, what happened? What's going on? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a weird shot. I thought that's what happened. Like he got impaled by the beam and it hit Goku. Maybe.
But then he tries to go in, like One Star tries to go in for a second shot, and good old 4-Star takes the shot.
Yeah,
like,
he jumps in the way. He's like, get down, Mr. President! Boom! And eats it, and he's like, sorry, we won't be able to have our rematch, and dies.
Yep. It's a great shot too because like Goku's like 4-Star. 4-Star, where'd you go? And
What
then
happened?
And the ball just like slowly
Rolls into his hand.
which is like, oh man, that sucks.
Noble guy.
Yeah, won't lie, this part's not bad.
It's not.
This is some good stuff.
Yeah, we actually have a fairly cool fight with some good scenery going on. They fight at a theme park. Like, they fight their way through the city. Shenron kicking the shit out of Goku at this point, because Goku is not only battle weary from the previous fights he just had, he's also now blind.
And also completely outmatched.
Yeah, like this guy was probably already stronger, is what Goku tends to imply. Like, this guy's on another level.
Yeah. And the fight that takes place, it's not like amazing.
It's not jaw-dropping, but it has its moments.
Yeah, some really cool shots. We were talking about it. I love that GT may not have the best looking or choreographed fights, but it has weird and different locales.
And it does have some interesting ideas every now and again. Every now and again, you see something in a fight where it's like, they've never done that before, and that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like me every time I build a roller coaster in Roller Coaster Tycoon. What? When and how and what? I'm okay with it, but what?
I'm not sure what just happened.
Why do you need to do that? You can fly.
That is kind of the saving grace for GT's action for me, is that I can always expect a different kind of scenery than we usually get.
Yeah, they aren't just fighting in deserts or in plateau-ridden wastelands and shit like that. Goku finally lines him up with a 10 times Kamehameha, like, I'm gonna get him!
Yeah.
Bam! Nails him! But he's the kind of villain that's just going to tank your best attack full on because he knows he can.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, you ain't got shit. Fires what could perceivably be his own. He doesn't really call it out, but it's just another red beam, and it tracks the shit out of Goku.
It's on his ass.
And boom, nails him. He flies into a sky viewing tower in this theme park and is left dangling there with his pants impaled upon a rod.
I swear, I thought that was his leg for a moment.
It could have been. It's a bloody fight. Like, this is I feel like this is the most blood we've seen in GT.
It feels like that, yeah.
At least in a while, because every punch that Shenron throws at him, blood out the mouth, blood.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. I miss that. I miss when hits look like they did damage. I miss it.
These pack some weight. Like, whether or not they were just holding out for him, maybe, like really put over the end bad guy. Hang in there, Goku.
Oh, man. Oh.
Good thing you got them parachute pants.
So if he, So if he transforms back to normal, but then transforms back into Super Saiyan 4, does that fix the pants?
I don't know.
I'm going to assume that it, oh yeah,
We're about to find out. And we open up the next episode, and he decides, you know what?
Yeah, no, okay, so this was interesting. While we were watching, there's this little pirate statue up from the park. It looks like it's straight out of Dragon Ball. I love it.
Yeah.
And he's holding up a sword. And as Goku is laying there, there's a shot that pans up from the statue to Goku hanging. And there was just this part of me that was thinking, oh my God, what if he just fell down on the sword?
And it's right after he drops that little bit of rebar that was holding him up after he yanks him off of it, and it falls onto it, which he looks down at and is like, I think I have an idea.
Yeah, he has the same thought we did, and then he's like, I don't need to do this myself. I'm far beyond that.
Because Goku's like, he's back in his child form. He's regrown his shirt. And
Which, okay.
lots of questions.
Very funny. He's hanging by one set of pants, he transforms, and is now hanging by a
different set of pants. Stays there, and he regrows his gi. So he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let gravity do this for me.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Son Goku. But he's saved at the last moment by his children, Trunks and Oob.
His children, Trunks and Oob?
Yep, that's who saved him.
Neither of those are his children.
His children, Goten and
his
Gohan,
children,
Trunks and Oob.
Well, to be fair, he's actually saved by Goten and Oob. But Trunks himself says, man, it's a good thing I didn't try. I would have got hit by Oob's blast.
Yeah.
So yeah, Goten actually grabs him. I don't know why Oob even blew up the statue.
Well, it was one of those, I think they even kind of like said or heavily implied in their like dialogue at that point. It's like, I was just, I was acting quickly. I didn't know if you were going to catch him in time, so I blew up the thing that was going to impale him.
Also, he is still blind. Here, use my glasses.
Yeah, have my glasses, Dad.
Oh, okay.
So they're all there and they're like, look, we know we can't fight this guy. We sensed this from a good bit away. This guy's too strong. So we're just going to do what we did in Baby and give you our power.
Yeah.
And they proceed to start doing that. Inexplicably, however, Mr. Satan, Videl, and Chi-Chi also show up. They're just there now.
So I want to say, there is something that Akira Toriyama would do that I really appreciated that people who continue his work kind of struggle with. And it's apparent here. Toriyama tried his best not to repeat himself.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't see the Big Bang and the Final Flash get used all too often. The Kamehameha does.
Because that's an iconic,
that's kind of
it's a signature move.
Yeah. He tried to avoid having repeats of stuff. So I kind of start to pick up on it a little bit more when I'm, say, watching GT and they use the
same plot beats over and over.
We're going to give you our energy again. Or like with Android 17, it's just Cell again.
Yeah.
It's like there are just some things where I'm like, okay, you can tell that this is a little bit more derivative because they're like, where Super would repeat stuff too. Don't get me wrong. That happened.
And Dragon Ball Z also would from time to time, like the going back to the well for the Spirit Bomb, stuff like that. But it felt different every time he used it, I guess is the thing.
Now it's my power.
I kind of like the roundhouse there. It is a beat for beat. We're at the climax. You're fighting the strongest guy. Let's give you energy again.
Although I will say, there are 5 episodes of this fight left.
There are. I kind of remember what happens. Like, I remember the major parts of what happened.
Yeah.
But the biggest question that I continue to go back to, do sensu beans not exist anymore? Are they extinct?
That is I don't know, I can't even remember if we've heard the word sensu
We have not.
in this show.
We have not.
Wow, I'm thinking about it because I didn't think about that until you brought it up. They have done everything they can to not have sensu.
Yeah.
Hell, they've done everything they can to like keep the Dragon Balls from being used a lot, which is funny because this is how we got here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's sort of interesting that it does kind of seem like they're trying to emphasize, hey, there are no quick fixes here.
Yeah, like, I don't know what happened between Z and now that just made sensu beans not exist. Maybe Korin finally passed. Like, he's a very old cat.
He is a very old cat.
Yeah, like, you're getting on there in years.
Yeah, one day Yajirobe just realized he stopped eating and they got really worried.
It's sad. Very sad.
And that's a broken arm.
Does he still have bones? Yeet. I got you. What are you gonna do about it? They end up giving him his power, but it still doesn't heal his eyes. And this entire time, they're basically just trying to do their best. Well, Oob is trying to do his best to hold off Sin. Very poorly, honestly. He gets like 1, maybe 2 bits of offense in, one of which was a ball, and the other of which was a chin lock.
He does well enough considering.
He holds him off.
Like, considering how strong this dude actually is, the fact that Oob wasn't immediately obliterated is pretty good on his part.
Oh, he turned into the gold monkey.
Is this? Okay, I was about to say.
My bones! But Goku's like, keep giving me more. I want to go beyond Super Saiyan 4.
And apparently, what he accomplishes is full-powered Super Saiyan 4.
Which looks exactly the same.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Not everything needs to have like a new like visual aesthetic to it, but it is interesting that they claim it is further beyond without anything else to it, really. Again, it's a nitpick, not really stuck in my craw, just kind of weird.
Yeah, but yeah, the
fact that they had to give it a title, I think, is the thing that's like, why?
Yeah, actually, if they just hadn't used the title and it's like, hey, you know, I've got all the power now.
Now, yeah. You know, like I'm overpowered. Like I'm, you know, overpowered. I'm pushing my limits.
Maximum over Saiyan.
Yeah,
yes.
maximum over Saiyan.
So yeah, and then it becomes kind of a one-sided curb stomp.
Kinda.
Goku starts slapping him around.
Yeah,
basically.
he blocks the first punch. He's like, Nani?
Yeah.
I might not be able to see, but I can see you losing. I can see you missing. I might be blind by it, but I see a punk ass bitch.
But Sin Shenron is like he uses tactics. One that I actually respect. It's like, okay, so you can sense me. You know where I'm at. You know what I'm doing. What if I throw at you? You can't sense it.
So this is sort of interesting because we were talking about, like, while we were watching it, Goku being blind has not seemed to matter at all.
No.
Like, if you look at the scenes, he's running along the roller coaster track. He's grabbing onto the bars. He's doing all the stuff that a seeing person would be able to do, and a blind person, frankly, should not be able to do.
Yeah, he basically just has, like, he has daredevil senses.
Kind of. But then, in this moment, they're by a clock, and he grabs the clock face, and he's like, okay, so you can sense my ki. But what about things without ki? And then throws it. And it turns into, like, he throws it so hard that it turns into a
boomerang.
Like
it has like an arc to it. So like he misses Goku on the first throw. It's like, okay, yeah, what about it? And he's just standing there just like waiting for it to circle back around to hit him. Goku turns and catches it.
Yep.
And he's like, I can still hear it.
Yeah.
So Goku explained like, yeah, no, my senses are still well tuned to this stuff. Again, Nani? And he throws it at him. He dodges it, but Goku hits him with the 10 times Kamehameha and finishes him off.
Apparently.
At least enough for them to think he did.
Yeah, so they all get together and they're all about to celebrate for a minute. But then when Pan finds the 2-star ball, she's like, oh, hey, what about that? We found a Dragon Ball. What the? It rolls downstairs, alone or in pairs.
Roll over your neighbor's dog.
Yep, and then, oops, turns out 1 star is not dead. Who could have guessed?
And he starts gobbling balls.
Yeah. Yes, much like that. And he has now absorbed all of the balls. He is now an all-star dragon.
He is now Omega Shenron, as dub watchers would know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that one. But yeah, he becomes Omega Shenron. Hey now, he's an all-star.
Get your balls on. That's essentially where we left off.
Yeah.
So now he's even more powerful. He has the power of the 2 dragons that were actually kind of strong and the rest.
Yep. Which I do think he gets access to their abilities now.
I don't remember at all.
Yeah, I don't remember either. There's a vague part of me that remembers him doing some with that.
I only know his move sets in the games, which is like a lot of lightning stuff from what I recall.
I will say this though. This is okay. So I'm gonna harp on something that we've already said a couple of times, because you know how everyone shows up like, hey, there's Trunks and Goten, Oob, Videl and Chi-Chi. Like, they all show up. And all I could think in that moment was, what if they had all shown up after fighting all of the dragons with their collective dragon?
Yeah, with their own unique...
Yeah, what if they'd shown up with the Dragon Balls like to help fight like One Star?
Yeah, we made it here in time.
Yeah, and then, you know, Goku beats One Star, but because they brought the balls there, he's like, no, actually, you've sealed your own defeat, because you bringing the balls here will now give me the energy to turn the tides.
All the other dragons have been destroyed? Good. That would have been the other way to go with it.
It would have been the other way to go. I hate to say that I'm better than writers, and
no,
I hope that I have made very apparent.
It's a different way to go. They probably still would have found ways to f it up.
I hope I've made apparent at the very least that I respect and understand the stress that these people must have been under when they were writing this stuff.
Again, like you said, they had to start rewriting everything at episode 3. That must have been so fucking frustrating.
Yeah, like they probably still had like 1 or 2 or maybe even like a half a dozen episodes where they still kind of played it straight.
I'm willing to, you know what I think probably happened? They probably had the like elements of the lewd stuff already in script. It's like, okay, we need to transition into something else that will connect with people more. What if we take this story and meld it into the next thing?
Yeah.
Because that feels like where the massive tone shift starts.
It is very interesting to me when they say 20, because it says 26 episodes. That's basically 2 cores. That, like, I think what they were planning on, because nobody knows how long GT was supposed to be. Yeah. Because it kind of feels like it was supposed to just be like this limited run. Because the thing is, the ratings for the show actually weren't that bad. It was at a 14%, where like Dragon Ball was more like 20. Right. Like, but that's not that bad. Mm-hmm. That's not a huge drop. But there is one thing that unfortunately hurt GT's popularity. Because if the ratings weren't that bad, why did it only get 64 episodes? Why did it get canceled? And I think it was 2 reasons. One, and I hate to say this, almost all shows that are made off of a manga are commercials for their manga. Right. One Piece is a very expensive and currently very beautiful commercial for the manga, which is selling incredibly well. And that sort of like plays back into it. It's a feedback loop. Yeah, manga does better. Put more time into the anime.
It's vertical integration.
Yeah. GT had no manga. So it's like, what are we selling? And apparently, weirdly, despite the fact that there's a bunch of stuff they could have marketed, not a lot of merch for a GT.
Not until the card games would start like really popping off.
Yeah, at that point, like it is sort of interesting. Oh my God, the merchandise machine for Dragon Ball now, nuts, insane. You've got video games, you have figures, you have like the card games with the integration in arcades. Dragon Ball prints money now, and yeah, that's why like GT only got 64 episodes. Between the lack of merch and a schedule that seems like it was absolutely hell.
Have they announced how many episodes like Dragon Ball Daima is supposed to have?
Actually, I can't remember. They probably did. God help me. Like, I know it's limited. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think they have like they're gonna try to like
stretch it out
very long. Which honestly, given the circumstances, I'm actually really okay with them not.
Yeah, it's weird, definitely.
Yeah, God, actually, oh man, the future of Dragon Ball right now is really. Yeah.
But you know, we're left with the final big bad in his essentially final form. We know that Vegeta's going to show up at some point, because we had a whole episode of flashbacks about it.
I won't lie. I was kind of waiting for the moment where Vegeta was going to show up, but now that he's got the balls, now this seems like the perfect time.
Yeah, that's when it's going to happen. Goku's going to be on the back foot. Yeah. Vegeta's either going to show up at the end of next episode or very early on in the following episode.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it because I really like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I actually like him more.
I think he wears it better than Goku personally.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm kind of glad, like, to be as H as possible. The last several episodes, like, until we finally got to these, were kind of boring. I was getting a little bored.
I was having my fun. I kind of like Monster of the Week stuff, but
like, at the same time, it wasn't doing anything incredibly unique with the formula. So it was just this, like, okay, kind of feels like we're going through the motions. It's not doing anything all that unique. It's got like one or two good moments. I'm just kind of waiting over here for something like bigger to happen. And this,
we're here. We're at the climactic last few episodes here.
Honestly, this, with the exception of the first episode with 4-star, where it's a little bit too much, Hanna-Barbera bullshit.
At least it was different.
Yeah, but besides that, these last couple of episodes, honestly, this might be some of my favorite stuff from GT that wasn't a couple of those like really good first episodes.
Yeah, or a couple of like the very select early baby moments.
Yeah. Like, it is really weird to me that I'm like, best of GT? What, you mean the B episode with Pine?
So many people, and no shots against anybody. Every time I see like, a clip of GT or like something discussing Dragon Ball that involves GT, people are like, oh man, baby chunk goated. Your rose-tinted goggles are thick, my friend.
You know what I am noticing, though? And this is peculiar, and this is going to give some credence to you, but I will fight wholeheartedly against this notion. A lot of people were like, yeah, the dub's better. And,
I will stand by the fact that while I don't think it makes the bad parts necessarily much better, I think the weird dubisms in a lot of the stuff that, again, that jank that you hate so much, I think that makes it more enjoyable to some people, including me.
You know one thing it did change? So, like, I look at the comments. You know I do, because I reply there sometimes. Some people are like, in the dub, they don't say this, or they change this. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, I don't want to watch the dub, because I'm trying to watch actual Dragon Ball GT and not an alternate version of it. But that is interesting to me. And one thing they did change, which this is probably a good idea. Hey, you remember when Piccolo dies on Earth when it blows up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know how he feels that wound he has on his stomach from Gohan's blast? Do you know how much time had passed between Gohan hitting him with the Kamehameha and Earth blowing up?
How much time?
Baby showed up on Earth 9 months in. Meaning, there was a minimum of 2 months where Piccolo had that wound.
Where he could have just healed.
Yeah, and in the dub, they make it seem like it's because the planet's about to blow up and he's been hit, like, he got hit by
some shrapnel or something.
So, they removed that.
Yeah, I guess the adapter was like, that's dumb.
It is, there's a lot of weird writing concepts in GT. But, so it's just been funny. It's been interesting to like watching people say, the dub is better. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say whether or not the dub is better. What I'm going to say is it's not, obviously it's not an accurate representation of what Dragon Ball GT is. And that's what I wanted here.
Yeah, you wanted to watch it as it was intended by its original team.
Because why would I watch anything else? Like, I could watch the dub after and then witness that. But I don't want to watch a dub that changes things.
I just remember we switched to the dub during the Para Para Brother scene. So much better in the dub.
Significantly.
So much.
Significantly.
Immensely.
Significantly.
Yeah, and there are like many moments that I remember from the dub just really enjoying. And so, I stand by you out there, but that's ultimately not what this experiment is meant to be.
Yeah.
And I get that. Begrudgingly, I get that.
It does make me wonder though, because like, we had that conversation on Twitter where I was like, fuck, I'll go. Let's watch the whole thing dubbed now. Let's do it.
Call my bluff. I'm not going to sit through this again.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There are certain episodes where I might like look back on and be like, this difference, et cetera, but I don't know if I got another 64 episodes in me, man. I don't know.
Look, it would, considering Considering the future, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sorry. I know this is a lot of tangent on some stuff that's unrelated, but like we're about to come into the ending.
Yeah, we're coming down the line here. So all of these things are in mind when it comes to like the overall show. But we'll move on with the climactic showdown with Omega Shenron in the next few episodes of
GTFS.